Well, welcome into this hour of CBS Sports HQ, giving you look-ins at the PGA Championship, a wild day that included plenty of players moving. It's called Moving Day for a reason. The players did, the score did not. Let's take a look at the leaderboard as we head into the final round of the PGA Championship. Through 3 rounds, they're all chasing one man, and his name is Dustin Johnson. DJ pushes the lead 1 stroke to 9 under. Haotong Li held it through 36 holes. You do not see his name on that very leaderboard, but plenty of movement around. Big names everywhere you look. Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, not far off it. Local names like Champ, Collin Morikawa, all within striking distance, promising for a jam-packed Sunday at the PGA Championship from TPC Harding Park. Here to break it all down, CBS Sports golf analysts Doug Bell and Kyle Porter. Gentlemen, moving day now in the rear view, and while plenty of those players did make moves, the lead only inching forward to 9 under, playing like a true major test right now. Doug Bell, you took it in all green side. Who impressed you most now that Saturday has come and gone?
Oh, so many players impressed me today, but how about Dustin Johnson, a 65 that included a double bogey? We've forgotten about that back-to-back 80 score at the Memorial and the withdrawal at the 3M Open. This was vintage DJ, all on display, having his best putting week in a long time, by the way. #1 in strokes gained putting, hit 140 feet of putts today. Now, a good day for a PGA Touring pro is like 75 feet. He hit 140 feet of putts today, and for the week, 316 feet of putts for Dustin Johnson. If the putter keeps performing tomorrow like it is today, he will have his 2nd major championship, and much deserved. Remember the debacle up at Whistling Straits when he hit it out of that bunker and had to go in and thought he had the win, but they changed that to a double bogey and he missed out? Maybe it's time that the golfing gods pay back Dustin Johnson. Long way to go, but he's put himself in a great position.
I thought there were a couple guys on this board that were super impressive, that really struck the ball well on Saturday. One of them was Scottie Scheffler, who had 8 birdies. He gets in the house. He'll be with Dustin Johnson playing in that final pairing on Sunday afternoon. That'll be impressive. He's a great ball striker. And another great ball striker on the board, Collin Morikawa. He had a great round as well, shot, I think, 65. On Saturday, and this is a course, and this is kind of an atmosphere in which we saw great ball strikers emerge. You had the wind up, a difficult course, difficult pin positions, and so you see these guys that are awesome from tee to green, like Scottie Scheffler, like Collin Morikawa, like Dustin Johnson, really have great days, and we really, I thought, saw the cream rise to the top on Saturday, and I think we're going to get another show on Sunday, because look at how many guys are within 3, 4, 5 strokes of the lead. DJ was 4 down going into Saturday. Now he's the solo leader. Look at how many guys could be 4 back going into Sunday, could emerge as the next PGA Championship champion. This thing's a long way from over, but we do have Brooks Koepka obviously right there. And I think the whole thing is kind of revolving around him right now as we go into the final round.
17 players within 4 shots of the lead as they sleep on it. You got past major champions. You got regional storylines, young sleepers, but as we said, they're all chasing Dustin Johnson. 24 total putts for DJ. It's a club, Doug, as you mentioned, has betrayed him in the past. He's been in this position time and again, sleeping on a lead here, heading into a major, but only has 1 major to show for it. Really the only current indictment of the future Hall of Famer. Kyle, what's been the missing piece on past Sundays here at majors for DJ?
Yeah, you know, he just seems to have these sort of lapses where, you know, like Doug mentioned at Whistling Straits, he'll have a weird penalty. Maybe he'll have a big blow-up hole. Maybe he'll 3-putt the final green at a U.S. Open. There's just these kind of infamous moments, I guess, with DJ. I think what's really interesting, though, Joe, it's almost like he needs some kind of oddities to play great at a major championship. Think about the U.S. Open that he won at Oakmont. He didn't even know what his score was for most of the final round. He had no idea where he was at on the leaderboard because of the penalty that he incurred that didn't get applied until after his round. This is a weird major. There's no fans there. Apparently he lost his yardage book earlier in the week, so he's playing with a backup yardage book. It's almost like he thrives in these weird situations because he just goes out and plays golf, and that's what he does maybe better than anybody else in the world. So I kind of like that there's a lot of weird things going on, because I think that's a situation in which DJ can kind of thrive.
You know, the perch that includes the superstars in the game is very small. I mean, you have to put Tiger up there and Phil Mickelson and Rory McIlroy, and I think Dustin Johnson belongs in that perch. He is a superstar in the game today, even though he only has one major championship. Could have won others. Could have won the Masters last year. The Tiger won. Remember, he missed a birdie on the final hole, the 72nd hole. He's had chances at the Open. He's had multiple chances to win a couple of U.S. Opens, and then, of course, we've talked about his history here at the PGA Championship. So Dustin Johnson has another opportunity tomorrow. He's already a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it, but he wants to solidify that. And obviously the mantelpiece is full of trophies, but he wants one more. And of course the Wanamaker is the biggest one they give away in golf. So we'll see if he can pull it off tomorrow. But man, I tell you what, that chase back, it is so impressive. And this back nine makes for great theater. And I'm not sure it's somebody who's going to birdie to win this thing. It might be somebody who avoids a disaster.
Forecasting weather in Northern California, as someone who spent some time up there, is a losing battle. But looking at the forecast on Sunday, going to be cloudy once again. Wind might not be up as much as it was on Saturday. I'll go to you here first, Doug. You're out there right now. How reliant is this course right now on having a sporting wind out there to really level out the pack and make sure there aren't a ton of red numbers? And if we don't see that win on Sunday, what could we see a final score?
Well, Joe, you know the weather, and you talked about it just a moment ago, and I talked to players, and they said the thing about the wind, it's not as much a factor as you think because it's consistent. It comes out of the west every afternoon about the same speed and same direction. And when these players know the direction it's coming and it's consistent, it is not a bothersome wind. It's when it swirls and it's coming out of all directions that gives them all sorts of fits. And you see that a lot at the Open Championship. That is not the case here at Harding Park. So I think the players, and having played it all week now, these players know this golf course and they know where they can score, which is on the first 9, number 10. Then you have to hold it steady, 11 through 14. And then you saw at the end, Brooks Koepka, for example, had those 3 consecutive bogeys and then came back with the birdies at the end. In fact, Koepka has birdied number 18 3 days in a row, and he's certainly in the game as well. So the players know the course, they know the wind, they know how it's going to play tomorrow, and I think that adds even more intrigue to what we have in store in this only major of the 1920 season. Man, it's going to be a doozy tomorrow, especially come the back 9.
Now, I know us three could sit here and talk about properties all night, but let's talk about some players. You mentioned Brooks Koepka. Our Amanda Balionis caught up with Brooks Koepka after the round, talking about what it takes to get it home on Sunday at a major.
When you take a look at who's around you on this leaderboard when you're going for such a historic moment of 3 straight PGA championships, what is it going to take out of you tomorrow to get it done?
Just play solid golf. Just do what I've been doing. I feel like I'm right there. I just need a solid round. And, a lot of the guys on the leaderboard are, I don't think of one or, I guess DJ's only won 1, but I don't know the other guys that are up there. But a lot of experience, I guess, is what I can bring to it, and know that I've been in this position quite a few times over the last couple of years, and just play well.
No shortness on confidence from the former major champion. Brooks Koepka always speaking his mind. Kyle Porter, I'll go to you here. When you look at Brooks, he kind of salvaged that round at the end after a streak of bogeys on the back 9. Not out of the question that Brooks makes a push at this thing. Is there any air of Tiger Woods of old? I wouldn't go that far, but guys take note of Brooks Koepka and where he's at on leaderboards. Is there an intimidation factor that he utilizes when trying to come down the stretch in these tournaments?
Well, first of all, I want to know what he was going to say whenever he paused there and didn't quite move forward with whatever he was thinking. I would love to have that quote instead of the pretty good quote that he still gave there. I think you're probably right. I don't. It's hard to tell because I think Brooks is. It's not Tiger Woods like. He's not that far ahead of everybody else, but there's certainly this thing where. DJ's got to look up and be like, wait a second, I have 21 wins. This guy's got 4 major championships. And so, you go back to the PGA last year where Brooks clipped him at the end, even though DJ kind of put some pressure on him. And remember last year at Bethpage Black, Brooks kind of fell back a little bit before kind of putting the pedal down at the end to grab that 4th major. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. I think if you're Scottie Scheffler, if you're Haotong Li, if you're Cameron Champ, one of these guys who's up there who doesn't have that experience that maybe a DJ has, you kind of got to be looking around at Brooks and thinking like, is this over? Is that a wrap? Like, what's going to happen on Sunday? So I don't know that it's quite Tiger-like, but it's certainly in that category if you're looking at Brooks Koepka right now.
I love listening to those interviews with Brooks Koepka. It's like an MMA fighter as opposed to a golfer. I mean, he's just different. There's a machismo there that we can certainly appreciate, and he brings that to the golf course. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out tomorrow. Again, his close today really put him in position tomorrow to win 3 in a row, and I know he felt like he really saved the round. But when you look at those top guys, when you look at DJ and Scheffler and Koepka and Morikawa, you know what's interesting about that? They all have the same ball flight. They all hit these big left to right shots, and the course really sets up for a right to left player down the stretch here. But we'll see how it all plays out tomorrow. They'll all be landing in the same spots, and it ultimately comes down to who gives themselves a chance to roll in a birdie putt. And right now, if you're looking at those putting numbers, it goes back to how we started the conversation. Dustin Johnson is having the best week on the greens, #1 in strokes gained putting. So we'll see if that continues tomorrow. Usually the boss of the Moss wins these major championships. We'll see if DJ can do it for 4 straight days.
Yeah, the slinger's gone out of style. I don't know what's with that. I guess more controllable ball flight, but fun to see these guys working their way around the course every single way that they do. We speak about Brooks Koepka in the same breath as Tiger Woods. Always a credit to a career when you do something like that. But let's talk about Tiger Woods. He's going to go off a little bit earlier here on Sunday, not within striking distance, but we have to take away something from Tiger's round today, Kyle. What will constitute success, and what does Tiger want to take away on Sunday as he moves forward and looks at the rest of his schedule this year?
Yeah, I think playing around under par on Sunday. You know, he goes 72-72 on Friday, Saturday. And you look at it, and it's a little bit the opposite of DJ. I don't think Tiger hit it that much worse than somebody like DJ in his 3rd round. He just didn't make any putts. You know, he loses strokes putting on these greens, whereas DJ gains 4 or 5 strokes on the rest of the field. That's the difference between their rounds. You know, on Friday, Saturday, Tiger made, I think it was 4 putts over 8 feet. So he's just not really making anything on these greens. I think get a little momentum early. See if you go in on the front side. He hadn't made any birdies on the front 9 on either Friday or Saturday. So I don't, you know, this is what everybody says, but I don't think Tiger's that far off in terms of his tee to green game is pretty good right now. It's not great. It's not elite. It's not at a Koepka level, but it's good enough to contend in these major championships because of how smart he is. He's just not making any putts. So that's what you want to see if you're Tiger Woods. He's got this new putter. See if you go in, move on to the rest of the year, whether that's the playoffs, the U.S. Open at the end of September, and then certainly the Masters in November. So I don't think Tiger has a ton to worry about right now, other than just trying to get a little momentum on Sunday going into the rest of the season.
Be interesting to see if he puts old Trusty back in the bag. Guys, each and every week I sit here and I ask you after 3 rounds of golf who the winner will be. That answer is often an easy one, or it boils down to 3 or 4 players. But the leaderboard that we're looking at, that is not the case. Doug Bell, I will go to you first here. Your winner of the 2020 PGA Championship will be?
Well, we have some big names up there, impressive names, former major champions, but the guy I like has never won on the PGA Tour, and I saw him for the first time, at least walked with him for the first time at Palm Springs at the American Express, Scottie Scheffler. And I remember saying at the end, it's not a matter of if he's going to win, it's a matter of when he's going to win. Scottie Scheffler is not just a long hitter, a guy who hits it out there a mile. He has a lot of moxie to his game. Good short game. We've seen it here. His putting has been phenomenal. He's 3rd in strokes gained putting for the week. I think Scottie Scheffler pulls off a stunner, and we see that a lot in the PGA Championship. I think Scottie Scheffler wins for the first time in the PGA Tour, and it is a major championship. Hook 'em horns. Scottie Scheffler will beat the big names tomorrow here in San Francisco.
Three-peat.
Three-peat.
Brooks Koepka. Yeah, it's going down on Sunday. Look, Koepka, I mean, you get into Sunday, and it's, you know, it had this feel on Saturday afternoon where Koepka finishes 3-3-3 after he makes all these bogeys on the back 9. And you're like, okay, here we go again. I've seen this before, right? Now, he's not leading going into the final round, which he has been each of the last 2 years when he's won the PGA Championship, but it just has that feel. I mean, he's had the ball on a string all week. He's #1 in the field in strokes gained on approach shots. He's hitting his irons great. He kind of managed it around on Saturday, but I thought he saves the three-peat with that 3-3-3 finish with 2 birdies over his last 3 holes. And I think he knew it too by his reaction. So I think Koepka gets it done, his 5th major championship. He passes Rory, ties Phil, which is crazy, on Sunday at TPC Harding Park. He might be Scottie Scheffler by like 11 strokes, Doug. That might be a tough one for you to watch on Sunday afternoon.
Ready your MJ memes. He's going for the three-peat. Doug Bell, Kyle Porter. Cannot wait for Sunday, fellas. Thank you.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.